Hello everyone. If you're using Corsair keyboard with your Mac, then you are probably aware of the fact that you cannot customize your keyboard with Mac because there's no driver support, an official driver support from Corsair for Mac computers. But there's another option which is developed by a third-party volunteer developer, but unfortunately, if you're using MacOS Sierra, that third-party tool is not working anymore, and it seems the developer um, has not updated um, its the source code for a while. So I guess we can just forget about it for now. And obviously, there's no support coming from Corsair yet. So if you are using Parallels Desktop, um, then I guess you have an option. So far, I have tried Parallels Desktop and it works perfectly, but there are a couple of things that you have to do before you actually can customize your keyboard on a Windows machine, Windows virtual machine installed on a Parallels Desktop. So the first thing that you should, unfortunately, the virtual machine is kind of copies the drivers, not the drivers, but the inputs. And as far as I can tell, that it seems the parallel desktop is kind of copying whatever comes from Mac computer, so it doesn't properly recognize your keyboard. I mean, it knows that there's a keyboard plugged in, but it doesn't know that it is a Corsair keyboard. So one way to fix it is that just right click on your Parallels Desktop Control Virtual Machine and say Configure. And then I'm on, by the way, this is the screen that you see is actually a Windows computer, Windows virtual machine that I just moved this Mac Windows window over here. But anyway, so if you go to Open Shortcuts Preferences, so go to right click on this guy and then say Configure, and then this warning, by the way, is important. You need to shut down your virtual machine, which is I'm using Windows 10 virtual machine on Parallels Desktop. So you have to shut it down first, and then go to this page, this window, and then choose Mouse and Keyboard. And there's this button here, and just click on it. So that will take you this shortcuts here. But what I'm interested in is devices. And normally you don't see this entry here, which is like looking like this, empty. And what we're trying to do here is that we want Windows Virtual Machine to recognize that we plugged in a Corsair keyboard. If you don't do this step, and if you install the Corsair utility engine, you will see that it doesn't recognize your keyboard, and it will just say device not recognized or device not plugged in, whatever, a warning message on top of the screen, which is the Corsair utility engine. I'm talking about this guy over here. So what you need to do is just say click on this add button here, and that will tell you what type of devices that you have connected to your computer, and you choose Corsair Gaming. That's what I have, so I'll just choose that one. So you have a couple options here. I mean, these are my Windows 10 and Ubuntu Linux are my virtual machines, and this is my Mac. If you choose Mac, it doesn't really work, so you have to say Windows 10. But when you choose that, it actually pops up a warning message, tells you that it will not, unless you shut your Windows 10 virtual machine down, your keyboard will not work on Mac. So basically, this virtual machine will kind of lock your keyboard, and when you type something on your keyboard, your Mac will not get it. Will not capture those keystrokes. It will be used by the virtual machine itself directly. That is good because that means your keyboard is directly connected to your virtual machine, and now Windows can recognize your keyboard, so that you can actually use the Corsair utility engine over here to right now. This is the message I'm getting. No devices detected. Detected. It's because I made the changes and reverted back so that I can use my keyboard with my Mac. Otherwise, you will not be able to. You just shut your you can shut down your virtual machine, and that will unlock your keyboard so that your Mac can capture keystrokes. So actually, let's go ahead and do it. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just close these windows, and let's do this. Let's actually say shut this down. Okay, and I'll restart it. Oh, actually, sorry. I was not gonna restart it. I had to make the changes first, but that's all right. I'll just shut it down again. Okay, let's shut it down. Okay, now I think it's okay. Cool. Now let's go back. Let's go to configure, and then let's choose the mouse. And okay, we already chose that. And now let's go to this guy, and then devices. Now, I actually chose it already. I didn't change it to Mac. So, well, okay. So I'll just restart this virtual machine. So what I'm expecting to see is any keystrokes will be captured by Windows. It will not be redirected to Mac. So if I say Corsair tool. By the way, when you do this for the first time, you will see that Windows will install drivers for your Corsair because it didn't recognize it properly before, because it was basically using whatever Mac was given it. But this time it is actually has the full access to your keyboard. Now, if I say Corsair Utility Engine, as you see that let's make this smaller so that it can fit this small window here. Now you see that it actually recognized my keyboard, detected my keyboard, and now I can make whatever changes I want. But unfortunately, one problem is that if you have like multiple kind of a how can I say, like a non-static kind of a dynamic color stuff here going on, then you need to have this application open all the time, as far as I know. But if you just use static colors for your keyboard, like for instance, maybe you just use a one color for the numpad and other things, then it is okay. You can save that profile to your keyboard directly. Your keyboard has a small amount of memory that it stores that profile settings. So what happens is that when you like close your it will actually keep that profile in its own memory, which means if you just move that keyboard to other PC or other computer or other Mac, it will actually keep that settings, and then you don't require to install Corsair application everywhere you go. So this actually completes it, but unfortunately, as I said, I'm trying to write something, but unfortunately it doesn't go to my Mac. It goes to Windows, so I have to revert the settings back when I'm done with it. And so here, this is how you can customize your Corsair keyboard with Parallels Desktop installed. Thank you very much, and I hope it helps whoever needs it, like it helped me. So have a great day, guys.